bird up in the top of that tree there. All I saw was some red wings flying by, or orange wings. Howdy everyone, Desert Horizons, AZ Off-Grid Unplugged RV Ranch. This is going to be about 500 days living off-grid. I only really did the math when I was trying to figure out how many days I had left until I started to get Social Security. And I realized I've been here 16 and a half months, and it's like, well, that's easy to figure out. That's almost 500 days. So, I wanted to go over a few things with you. Yeah, it's all in there, all right. There's the house. And there's part of what makes it possible, is the water. I don't know when filtering the water became such a necessity, because back in the 1800s nobody ever filtered their water. But fortunately I have a Berkey water filter to take care of most of that, so my water is not a problem. That tank's probably still got about 2,000 gallons in it. I had it filled up about the end of June, something like that. And it was filled up to the top. So, but the water's one of the big things, one of the important things for survival. Another thing is, sorry about the wind. Up there on top of the awning, the lower part of the awning, I got 10 solar panels. Plus I have these two over here, because the ones on the awning are a fixed position. They're facing south, and the sun comes up, well, in the east obviously. So I got these set up to grab the first rays of the morning to give a jump charge, jump on the batteries. Here in the winter time, that's going to be really important, because if I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and the sun doesn't rise till 7:30, I'm either on the computer or watching TV, and both of those things are sucking juice. So the moment the sun comes up, I want to start replenishing that, so I'm not draining down the batteries. I've been trying very hard to not get them below 75% if I can. Of course, sometimes they do go below that. I think maybe 4 or 5 times since I've been here in the 500 days. It looks like the problem I was having with them only bringing in half of the juice is starting to go away. They were limiting themselves. They would not get above 350 watts. Well, today I saw it 455 or 460, something like that. So it's working itself out, just like it did the other 2 times. So that's my water, and that's my electricity is taken care of. And then over here I got 2 20-pound tanks and 1 100-pound tank, providing my heat and cooking. I don't use propane for hot water. I have solar hot water, which is a rod that goes into the old drain place in here, and this is all run off the solar. This took me some wiring and stuff to get it set up to work, but it does a beautiful job. During the hot part of the summer, if I had to turn on the water heater at all, dang it, this is hard to do one-handed. Jeez. Oh well. If I had to turn on the water heater at all, it was for maybe 15 minutes. During the winter, it'll have to run for sometimes an hour and a half to get enough hot water to take a shower. It uses about 415 watts. And it has a thermostat on it, so it shuts itself off when it gets up high enough. There's my 8 batteries, running all 1200 watts of solar panels. There's the charge controller for the 2 panels out front, or back, depending on which way you want to look at it. But yeah, 8 Trojan T105s. Well, this wire here, and another black one over there go up to the connections. Here's where the black wire comes to, connects right to there, and then the negative for all my DC connection or appliances and stuff, lights and all that inside the RV go to. And then over here I have the positive, the red wire coming to the battery wires and everything else that run everything. This is the power to everything DC inside the house. That's all you got to do, is just run some wires from the batteries to your where then normally the batteries would go up here. I just, like I said, ran the wires up there. And when I want to fill up the water tanks on the RV, I just flip this switch and it turns on this water pump I have here, puts out 1 gallon a minute into my water tanks. I can fill up the onboard tank on the RV. The water goes into here. So I fill up that tank. It holds about, it's either 60 or 90 gallons. I can never remember. Now behind that cloth is my Berkey water purifier. So that cleans any water I put through it. I got that cloth on there to cut down on the reflection in the TV. So it looks weird, but it works. And then when I need water in the house, I just, same thing you do it at your house. Hear the water pump turn on there? That's different than the one I just showed you up on the front. But if I need water, I just turn on the faucet and water comes out. Same thing in the shower. I mean, that's the way, and same thing in the bathroom. And that's just the way it works. And I have my furnace all set up to operate this winter, so it won't be quite as cold. And here's the charge controller for the 10 panels up on the awning. Let's see what it's showing now. The sun's kind of behind a cloud, so it's only bringing in 50 watts, 13.6 volts, so the batteries are totally full. I'm just not using any. So it's a midnight classic 150 and a 2000 watt Ames inverter that everything runs off. I got extension cords running throughout the house. Some go straight, where am I? Where am I? Okay, some go straight south to plug in the TV and the computer, some run extension cords running down the floor, back to the small refrigerator, the fans, whatever else I want. It's actually really easy, much easier to live off-grid, than I was originally led to believe when I first started planning this. And this is what I use to keep me cool during the summer. The portable stand-up swamp cooler. It's about as tall as the countertop in the RV. And this is what I'm going to use to keep the place warm this winter. This is all I used last winter, was my my Mr. Heater Buddy and a 10,000 BTU propane wall furnace. This winter I'm also going to be able to use my onboard propane furnace, the RV furnace, because I got the propane leak fixed. Oh, look at that. You just missed the sunset. It was pretty too. And I wanted to show you that it's not just total lazy bum around here. Got this a little bit weed whacked out. And the driveway weed whacked out. But this is a non-battery operated, non-electric weed whacker. It's one of these kind of like a golf club. Swing it back and forth and chop the weeds down. Just last week when I was showing you my driveway, I showed you from the other side, but this was from this side. Here's the newer loop, newer end of the loop, and there's the old one. And like I said, I can't really tell exactly where the old driveway was. All the prickly pear that have grown up. So, I don't know. Kind of weird the way it just totally disappeared. And I said that was less than a year and a half. Beautiful cloud formations. And tomorrow's, for the rest of the week, tomorrow's going to be the last 100 plus day. And then after that, they got it shown through September 13th, and nothing's above 100. So we may be done with the hundreds for this summer. I was like, oh well. It means the mornings are going to start getting cold quick. One nice thing about it, when it gets to 102, 103, it's beautiful all day long until about 1 o'clock. And that's when it starts feeling a little hot. Usually noon or 1 o'clock before I even think about turning a fan on. So.